Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you back to the VMRC Women's History Project, and it is my pleasure to introduce you to one of Virginia's competitive anglers, Beth Synowiec. Beth, please tell our friends about yourself and how you started fishing.
Okay, well, thank you, Lori, and hello, everyone. I actually did not grow up saltwater fishing. I have been fishing for about 10 years. When I was growing up, my dad used to take us to Cape Hatteras, North Carolina, and a lot of people that know that area know that it's pretty well known for fishing, but he just liked the beach scene and stuff. And when I was about 8 years old, he decided he wanted to take me on the Miss Hatteras, which is a fishing party boat charter. And he was funny. He always wanted to make sure things happened. He liked to plan ahead. So he decided he was going to tip the captain $50. And he said to the captain that Grant has a brother if you get my daughter on fish. Well, lo and behold, there was another little boy on that group that we went out with that day, and his dad did the same thing. And we ended up catching so many bluefish. We lost count after 60. So everybody on the boat got their full share of what it was like to troll and catch a ton of fish. So I came back and we decided to fillet the fish, and it was a really enjoyable afternoon for me and my father. And so I think that's what planted the seed. And then we went back a couple times, and I always found myself on the shore just wanting to be on a boat catching beautiful mahi, and there was like a freedom there that I didn't see on the land. It was like a whole nother world. And so I guess I had this dream in me since I was 8, and I really did nothing about it. And I was working as a registered nurse. I'm a registered nurse with my bachelor's in med-surg certification, and one of my patients was dying of cancer, and those are the moments that you embrace with your career, and you go in, you actually, you get very real with your patients. And he said to me, "What do you want?" And I said, "Well, I want to give you your medication, sir." He said, "No." He goes, "In life." And I said, "Oh." I said, "I'm sorry." I said, "Well," I said, it's kind of a silly dream." I said, "I've had it since I was 8. And he goes, "Well, what is it?" And I said, "I'd love to buy a boat." He goes, "That's not a silly dream." And I said, "Well, I just don't think I can afford it." And he said, "Well, why don't you do something about it?" He says, "You've had that dream since you were 8? And I was like, "Yeah." And I said, "I probably should." He goes, "No, you definitely should. If you've had that long, that's your soul talking," he said. And I said, "Well, okay." I said, I think you're right. I think I need to do something. Well, I ended up working a double shift that evening, came home, and I got up, and about that time Oprah Winfrey was coming on. I'm flipping through the channels and I see Oprah, and she's like, "What are you doing about your dreams?" And I'm thinking, absolutely nothing. And I'm 34 years old. And I really connected with that. It was like a phrase on a TV show, and I'm not a diehard Oprah fan. I don't sit there waiting at 4 o'clock for that show to come on every day, but it reached to me. And I think it reached on what was inside of me already. And so that's the reason why I tell this story, is because so many people go through their lives and they have their soul talking to them and they don't listen to it. And I truly believe that I was born to saltwater fish. I love it, and I'm so passionate about it, and I enjoy it, and when you love something, you like to share it with others. And I have found myself wanting to give back. So I've been fishing, saltwater fishing, for about 10 years, and I did buy that boat. And I knew absolutely nothing about fishing when I started. I had to look up the species that I was trying to go after, and I was telling Lori earlier when we were talking, my first fishing trip was, "Well, what are you going to do?" "Oh, we're going to go fishing." And they're like, "For what? Fish?" I mean, because that's how naive I was. And I'm not from Virginia. I'm from West Virginia, born and raised in West Virginia. So I ended up finding out that one of the things that you should do when you're going to start a sport like this is you join a club with other people that enjoy that sport.
All right, hold that thought 1 second. This is so interesting.
Okay.
Beth, we're going to do 2 parts. We may end up doing 3 parts with you.
Okay.
So, ladies and gentlemen, that's the introduction to Beth Synowiec. Stay tuned for part 2.